In our previous video, we created a simple layout. And in this video, I'm going to improve that layout with adding some more elements. So if I go to the catalog and into the layouts group, I can see that there is one layout which we have created. So before making any changes, I would like to create a duplicate of this layout. To do that, I will right click and click on copy, and then right click on the layout group and click on paste. So it will create a copy of the layout, so that now we have a duplicate of the layout that we just created. So I will open that layout, and I would like to change the name of this layout. So I will go into the properties and change the name as layout 2. Actually, I can change the name of this one to layout 1. Okay, so from here on I will work on this layout 2 and make the changes. So I would like to add the border around the map, and to do that I will activate the layout panel, go into the insert tab and click on this rectangle option and draw a rectangle around my layout. So this will act as a border for the map layout. So when I inserted the rectangle, it inserted a rectangle in the contents pane. So I can go into the properties of the rectangle and it will open this elements panel, and here I can make changes to its properties. So if I go into the symbol, I can change the outline color. I like to keep it as black, and I can increase the outline width. So now we have a border around our layout. Since I added the rectangle, now it is at the top of everything, so I would like to move it back so I can work on the other elements. To move it back, I will right click on the rectangle and go into order and set to back. So it is back, and now I can select the map. And the next thing I would like to do is create an inset map. So to create an inset map, I can use the same map in this project. So to do that, I can simply add another map frame. So I will go into insert tab, map frames, and select the same map. And this is the only map we have in this project. So I will select that map and draw a rectangle here. So basically it added another map frame. So if you go into the content, you can see that there are 2 map frames here, and within each map frame there is a map. And if I go into this map frame, there is a map. So this map is the map that is available in this project. So I actually like to rename these map frames. So I will go into the properties and rename the map frame here. So I will call this map frame as the main map, and then I will go to the properties of this map frame. So I will go to the properties of this map frame and rename it as the inset map. Okay, so now we have 2 map frames in this layout, and I like to consider this as the inset map. So we'll move this around a little bit. I like to bring the inset map to the left corner, and I like to bring the main map towards the right, and we can put the legend somewhere here. Okay, I like to make this map a complete square, so I will go into its properties and maybe change it to 80 millimeters. So we have a perfect square now. I can move it around and again move this here and move the main map frame a little bit. Okay, so now we have a main map and a inset map. I would like to add a grid to the main map, so I will go into the main map, select the main map, actually the main map frame, and go into insert tab and click on this grid. So if I go into the map and check the properties, my coordinate system is WGS 1984, which is a geographic coordinate system. So I can just put latitudes and longitudes in the grid. So I will go into the map frame, go into insert, grid, and select a graticule, because my map has a geographic coordinate system. If I have a map with a projected coordinate system, I can use this measured grid, but in my case the map is in a geographic coordinate system, so I will select a graticule. So I like to have the labels on the sides vertical, so I will select this second option, and you can see now it has added the grid around this map frame. But we need to make some changes here. So I can go into the properties of the grid. So then again under this map frame, now we can see in this map frame there is a map, and other than the map there is this grid. So I can go into the properties, and the first thing I would like to do is get rid of these grid lines in the map. So I can simply select it and click on this to remove it. If I want it back, I can add it from here. And the other thing is I like to get rid of these minor tick marks. So I will simply select those tick marks and remove them. And we can keep these tick marks as it is. And also I like to bring these labels a little bit closer to the map frame. So I will select the labels and go into the offset and reduce the offset, so it comes a little bit closer to the map frame. And similarly I like to reduce the length of these tick marks, so I will reduce the length from here, so it is now reduced. And I think I need to change the map frame a little bit to bring in the labels within the border. So I will move the map frame. Okay, and I will do the same on the wet side, and we'll check the bottom. Yeah, I think I have to move it a little bit. Okay, so the labels are within the border now. Can move the scale bar a little bit just to make it better. And on the east side, I don't actually want these labels, so I will again go back to the grid and remove the labels on the east side. So it removed the tick marks, and I will select the labels and then again remove the east side labels. Okay, now we got rid of the labels and also the tick marks on the east side. Okay, now we have a proper grid to our main map. Now I will go into the inset map and move it a little bit to align with the main map. And I would like to insert the extent indicator. So I will select the inset map, go into insert and go into extent indicator. and it will show a list of all the maps, all the map frames in the layout. So I will select that, and it will add the extend indicator. So I will change the color of the extend indicator. Still I cannot see the extend indicator, so to see the map extend indicator I will activate the map frame. So to do that I will select the map frame, right click and click on activate and zoom out a bit. So now we can see the map extend indicator, and now I will move out of the map frame. Okay, so now we have the inset map and the extend indicator on the inset map. So if I activate this, the main map frame, and zoom in to one of the states and move out of the map frame, you can see the extend indicator now has changed according to the map frame. Okay, the other thing is I like to change the north arrow, the style. So I will select the north arrow, go into the north arrow and go into the gallery and select one of these, and move it a little bit, and maybe we can add a white background. We can, okay, now we have improved the north arrow. We have the scale bar here and we have the legend here. So now we have most of our elements in the layout. We can also add text to the map to give more details of this layout, or to give more details of the map that we are exporting. So in ArcGISPro there is option to add a dynamic text. So if you activate the layout panel and go into insert tab, you can see this icon called dynamic text. Here you can add different information about your map. For example, the map units, the name of the map, scale, and spatial reference, and a whole list of details about your map. So in this case I will first add details of our spatial reference. So I will simply click on this spatial reference option and draw a rectangle on the map layout. So it will add some text onto the map layout, and if you go into its properties, you can see it gives these dynamic text options. So basically what you see here on the layout is the text that is generated from this dynamic text. So the spatial reference text, it appears as it is on the map, and here if you go into the, so this is the name of the coordinate system. So in my case it is WGS 1984. This is the geographic coordinate system, and this is the datum and the map unit. So actually we don't need some of these, so we don't need the azimuth. So if we want, we can edit this text in this dynamic text option. So we don't actually need most of these. So for example, I can just backspace and remove this text, because none of these are relevant to the layout that I am using. So I need the map units, but I don't need any of these, and I don't have a projection in my map, so I can get rid of that as well. So I will keep the datum, geographic coordinate system, and I don't have a projected coordinate system, so I can get rid of that as well. And this is the name of the coordinate system. And other than that, we can also add our own data, our own text in this dynamic text box. So for example, we can say who produced this map. So I can add something like produced by, and at the person's name, like person who prepared this map. So you can see that when I added that text, it appeared in the text box. Also, like I showed you earlier, there are other text that you can add. For example, if you need, you can add the scale. So I can add that scale somewhere here. And again, change the background color. And actually this reminds me to like round off the scale. Okay, so I can move it somewhere here. And we can also go back and see what else we can add. We can also add the date that we exported the map. So I will draw another rectangle here. So as you can see that again, if I go into its properties, it also has these dynamic text options. But I don't like to have like two text boxes in the same layout. So what I can do is I can simply copy this and go into the previous text box and paste it in that. So now you can see I have added the date exported into the same text box. So I can now get rid of this text box. And I don't like to add the date and the time. So to get rid of the time, so actually if you double click in any of these boxes, it will show a HTML code. So if you know HTML coding, you can edit this code and make changes. So likewise, I can go into this date exported box and change the code so that I can get rid of the time. So what I do is I remove this part because I just need the date, and click on OK. And likewise, I can get rid of the time. So for that you need some knowledge of HTML coding. Okay, there's another very useful thing you can do with the dynamic text. Here you can see that in my map there is a text that is automatically added by the software. So this text refers to the data source that I have used in this map. So this actually refers to the base map. So if I go into the map and remove the base map, you can see that the text disappears. And if I again add the base map, you can see the text appears. So this text refers to the source of the web source of the base map that we have used, and it appears in the layout here in the main map and also in the inset map. So this is something that is automatically done by the software, and there is one way to get rid of that source text. What you can do is go into the dynamic text and select on service layer credit. So I will click on this service layer credit and draw a rectangle somewhere here. And once I draw that rectangle, you can see now the text is disappeared. So what happens is that information which was here is now added into this text box as service layer credit. So likewise, you can get rid of that text in the map. And when you export this map, you can just remove this text box from the layout and export the map. But actually it is better and it is a good practice to add the data source. So I will keep that text box and use that service layer in my layout. So I will copy this HTML code, go back to the text box in my layout and paste it here. And I can add some text here. So I will add as a data source. So like I mentioned earlier, this service layer refers to the base map, and if we have used any other data in this layout, we can add it here. So for example, I can add as department of environment. Likewise, you can add the data sources you have used to create the map here. Okay, now we have added all the information of this map, and I like to change the layout a bit, so I will increase the number of columns so it looks better. And we can do some improvements of this map layout. So I will again add some borders just to make it look better and align with the main map and the border of the layout. Can also add a border to the inset map. And do the alignments and grid. And add some margin to the text. Maybe change the size. Okay, now our map layout is ready to be exported. So I will go into the Share tab, click on Export Layout, select PNG image file type, give the file location, and name it as map2. And export. So the map is now exported. I will go into the catalog. These two go into my folder. So if you go into the catalog and hover your cursor over the project folder, it will give the file link. So simply click on that and it will open the project folder, and I saved the maps here, and this is our map. So this is the map that we just exported. Also, you have the option of saving this layout as a map layout, so that you can use the same layout in future projects. To save the map layout, again go into the Share tab and click on Layout File. So go into the project folder or anywhere else you want to save your layout file, and give a name to your layout. So I will name it as landscape with Inset map and click on save. So we just saved the layout file. So when you need the same layout in another project, you can simply go into Insert, New Layout, and click on Import Layout File, and go to the place where you saved the layout and select that layout and click on OK. And it will open the layout, and you can use this same layout in your future projects. But something that you have to keep in mind is that when you export the layout with these maps, and when you import that back into projects, it will import with the maps. So for example, if I go into the catalog, now I can see 2 maps in my project, but actually I had only one map at the beginning. So the map 1 was inserted because I imported a layout with the map. To prevent that happening, you can go into the properties of the map frame, and under the map frame select none, and then again in the Inset map go into the properties, and under the map frame select none, and again save the map frame. Go into Share, Layout File. I will overwrite this, the same one which we exported again earlier. Save, overwrite, yes. So I have now exported the layout without the maps. I will close this, and I will go to the catalog and remove this map, because it is the one that was imported with the layout previously. So I will delete that, and then again I don't need this layout. I will remove that as well. Okay, now I will import my layout again. Go into Insert, New Layout, Import Layout File, select the one I saved. Okay, now you have a layout without the maps, and if you go into the catalog, you can see that it hasn't imported in any unnecessary maps or layouts. When you need to add a map to the map frame, you can simply go to the map frame properties and select the map. And to change the extent, you can click on Zoom to last active map. Similarly, you can select the map frame for the Inset map, select the map, and change the extent. I think this video was useful for you to create a map and also create a map layout. See you in another video.